Hi everybody, this is Kim Klaver and I'm really excited to be here and I'm just delighted to share with you some things, little things that I've done over the last 27 years, particularly with warm market. And if you are ready to become a different kind of warm market person, namely a warm market boss, where you have it totally under control, this is going to be for you. So first of all, I'm going to tell you 3 little secrets that I have used to get 157 personally sponsored reps and customers onto an experimental team just this year, okay? And I annoyed no one, I begged no one, I chased no one, I sold no one. They never even knew the name of the company or the product until they were ready to buy, okay? So how do you do this? And let me say first of all that this is dedicated to all network marketers and really directed at all network marketers who see things differently. You kind of know that, yeah, I hear what they say, but I wonder if there might be another way to do this. So if that's you and you see things differently, this is definitely for you. And it's also for people who say, yeah, I want the results I see. However, here's what I don't want. I don't want to lose my friends. This is a very big deal for many people. And I don't want to sell my friends. This is another very big deal, which a lot of people like to sweep under the rug. But I'm here to tell you that if you feel this way, you're totally fine. I don't want to sell my friends either. I don't really know anybody who wants to sell their friends, right? So this is a perfectly legitimate concern. And I don't want to look stupid. Well, duh, nobody wants to look stupid. And then somebody might say, well, I'm also a big fat introvert. And let me just move this here so you can see. If you're an introvert, there's help here on the way for you, okay? Let's see if we can get the next one up here. So if you ask yourself, what can I do here to make things work? And P.S., I can't sell either. Okay, so we got that part. You can't sell. So here we go. 3 secrets I use to get 157 personally sponsored reps onto an experimental team this year. I'll share with you what those are. Secret number 1, it's the agenda conflict. If you're having a problem, you want the results, and you are unable to kind of talk to people anymore, it's the agenda conflict. Let me tell you what I mean by that. There's a pretend agenda, and then there's a real agenda. And what do they tell you? In meetings, when you talk to people, when they tell you on the phone, what do you hear? You hear, we don't sell. I'm sure you've all heard that 1,000 times. We don't sell. We share. Okay, great, no problem. And we're all going to get rich sharing. I mean, this is 27 years ago. I heard it all day, all night, and 27 years later, we hear the same thing across all the companies. We share, we're all going to get rich. So we go, okay, great. I hate selling anyway. That sounds perfectly wonderful to me. And people sit in a meeting and they're ready to go and do something here, just like these folks. So what happens? You go home full of hope and you're dialing Aunt Lulu. That's the idea. So now what is going on inside your head? And just ask yourself, put yourself in that place again. What's going on inside your head? What is your little agenda, your plan? Would you say that you hope to sample them? Oh, try a sample. You got to try this, see if you love it. Or are you thinking that maybe they're going to do you a favor and try some, buy some, right? So are you hoping maybe they're going to join up? And if you don't, there's probably something wrong with you. This is what everybody hopes. That's why you make the calls, right? And so what's the problem? Well, when your sponsors ask you after, well, did you call the people on your warm market list? And did you get anyone? Did you get anyone? Did you sign up anyone, right? Did you bring anyone to the meeting? Are you going to bring anybody to the meeting? Who are you bringing to the meeting? How many people are you bringing to the meeting, okay? So this is, and sometimes they even say, did you ask for the sale? And you go, well, what sale? We're sharing, right? I mean, if we're sharing, that's really not exactly the same thing. I mean, the way normal people understand that word, you share a piece of pie or a piece of ice cream, and that's kind of it. You don't say, well, here, give me some money and give me your credit card after you do that, right? That's kind of the normal sense of the word. So what happens is an inner conflict comes. And many people get to the point where they don't know if they're really sharing or selling. And they've already said they don't know how to sell and they don't want to sell their friends. So now what are we doing here? And consequently, that conflict, because sharing means there's not a persuasion other than you want to have a lick of the ice cream, you want to have a taste of this or you want to have a taste of that. But for selling, you have a persuasion agenda and you get money from them. And not only that, the money goes to you. A piece of it goes to you. So this is quite a different feeling. So if you're nervous about that and feel funny about that, so does everybody else. That's one of the huge issues in our industry, that people just kind of like to put that under the rug. And I'm here to tell you that there's a way around that completely and totally. You don't even need a rug. But just so you know that we know this. We know this. So when you fire up that phone to call Aunt Lulu, what are you looking to do? Are you trying to get her to buy, yes or no? Or join, yes or no? Right? Or sample something, yes or no? That's really the question. And we know, right? We know what we're trying to get them to do. So that conflict of intention drives some people totally up the wall, and to the point where, you hear nothing in the rooms but share, 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 share. So all you have to do is share, share, share. But those same voices ask you afterwards, did you get anyone? Right? That's kind of the deal here. Did you get anyone? So there we sit thinking, well, man, what am I going to do here? So that's really the issue. And the same question really is on everybody's lips. Don't think you're the only one, which is, what should I say? Given the conflict, right? What are we trying to do here? What am I supposed to say? And that really has gotten so bad for people that a lot of them have just decided they're not going to talk to anybody anymore because they feel like they're saying the wrong thing because they're not sure about that conflict. And it's hard to express it because all you hear from hundreds of people in front of the room is share, share, share. And you kind of hear, well, did you sign anybody up? Did you get anyone? Did you get anyone? All of that. And you kind of know, well, you don't know the words to use anymore. And so what happens is many people don't talk to anyone anymore for fear of saying the wrong thing and losing their friends, which is not a good thing, okay? So they've stopped. I'm sure you know a lot of people like that, and maybe some of you are the same thing, where you just stop talking to people because the stress is just too much. And I have a fix for this. I have 1,000% fix totally for this. There's nothing going to be left to sweep under the carpet when we're done here. By the way, the answer is not skip your warm market. You don't want to do that. There's a way to do it so that they're going to be helping you, okay? And the reason you don't want to skip them, you can do them at some, I'm not going to, you do whatever you want to do. But the reason a lot of people don't want to skip their warm market, if you could do it in a way where they want to end up helping you, which is what I'm going to show you here, is that sometimes, on occasion, somebody will be in the business for a year, say, and they didn't call some of their warm market because they were kind of chicken, to do it. And then they find out that that person is some top distributor in somebody else's group. Well, that is major heartache. When you feel that and you see, oh my gosh, that's my neighbor. I thought for sure he'd never do it. And he's, I don't know, the former president of the bank or something. And here he is standing on stage, with his first $12,000 or $15,000 check. And so you don't want to be in that place either. So there's a way not to have to skip them so that you don't have to worry about that issue, okay? And I'll show you how we're going to do that here. I'm going to give you 3 word models that you can use on the next call that you make to your warm market, okay? That will solve your problem. And I guarantee that you've never heard the words ever, even if you've been listening to me. These exact words you've really never heard because I've never put them out there before, okay? And it helped me get, like I said, this year, we're now, what are we, June 2017, 157 personals this year onto an experimental group that I'm teaching, okay? And people, when you hear these words, when people hear them, the other people are totally delighted. They really are. It's quite a switch from what you may be used to. No more rolled eyes, you'll see. Okay. Secret number 2 is how to ethically steal the word models that I have used to bring in all these personal reps and customers this year. And if the words are printed out smack dab in front of you and you understand, even if you blubber every time that you've gotten on the phone, even if you are sure that you always say the wrong things, even if you know that you always say too much, okay? Or you're too shy, like they say, to lead silent prayer, if you're one of those people. What I can tell you is that really none of that matters. If you can open your mouth and words come out, if you've got something in front of you, you'll be fine, okay? And they're new warm market word models, and I'm gonna, that's what I want to have for you guys here. So you can just ethically steal mine. And it includes a surprise introduction. So, hello, Aunt Lulu. Yep, there's going to be a little surprise and a request from her. And what's going to happen is these words get a warm market person to lean in right away. Oh, yeah? And offer to help you. Oh, okay. Right away. Just like that. Okay? Wouldn't that be a nice switch if you had that? And the word model is guaranteed, I can tell you right here and now, and I don't guarantee much because what can I guarantee, right? It will never annoy your warm market. You will never lose anyone of your warm market. They will never cross the street. They will help you, in most cases, on the spot, and they'll never see you as a pest who should never be invited to Christmas dinner again. That's what the rest of that slide is here and there. Sorry about it not appearing, but they'll help you, and they'll not see you ever as a pest who will never, ever be invited to Christmas dinner, okay? And we'll leave the slide right there, the way it is, with a broken text there. So the best thing, though, is that you won't have an agenda conflict. You won't be wondering, am I sharing or selling? Am I supposed to get them? Am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to make them do this? And what if they don't? Does that mean they don't really love me? Blah, 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 blah. None of that. Totally disappeared. Secret number 3 is you're only one person away. Now, with this, a lot of people that are in the business, particularly new people, feel like, oh my gosh, they really need to have a lot of people coming into the business because they think, oh wow, some of the top people, they have thousands of people coming into the business. And it's actually, you may not know this, but as a person who has been a top earner in all my companies and knowing most of the others, because we're not that big of a group, the big earners, and let's say 20,000 a month or more, that's not huge, but for most people, that's pretty big. But when you're talking about top earners in any industry, internet marketing, network marketing, some of those people make $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 or more per month. Very few of them, however, do that, but they do. And because they're there, they give us something to aspire to, okay? So let's take somebody who's making $20,000 a month, which is about, $250,000 a year. 1 to 3 people typically are responsible for 50% or more of that person's income. That's it. And with some of the big players that I remember, for example, Dexter Yeager, who was the #1 distributor at Amway for so many years, and now his sons have taken over. I think that's the story there. He had one guy that was responsible, I think, for more than 50% of his income. And if I'm not mistaken, the guy was Bill Britt, who himself was a multimillionaire and who himself had one person who was responsible for more than 50% of his organization as well. And one person that I know of that I worked with for several years in Nu Skin was one of the super duper blue diamonds, however many blue diamonds you can be, the guy was that. And he was an old friend, and he had almost 500,000 to 1 million people in his organization. And he had one person that he had sponsored who was responsible for 95% of his business. 95%, that's a lot. And that's, the extreme, but the point is you don't need a lot of people. You need a few good ones. You're really only one person away from being that person. I don't know how many of you know that, but you can ask your top earner in your company, how many people give you 50 to 60% of your income? How many key players? And if it's more than 5, you'd be surprised. Once in a while, there's always an exception. But generally speaking, I would say that 80% of the top earners in all the companies have between 1 and 5 at most people who give them 50 to 60% or more of their total income. They're called the drivers. That's what we call those people. The big hitters can be the same thing. Okay? So ask your top earner. You're not sure about that? Ask them. Ask the very top one. You've heard sometimes about the runaway leg. You get those in various binaries. And they'll say, oh, there's a runaway leg and there's $1 million BV per month. And if anybody would take a spot on the other side, right, there comes all this money for you if you can build out the other side. That's one leg. And that's usually one person at the top of that really is that driver. So you never know who they're going to be. They don't come in often as drivers. They come in as what seems to be a regular person, and suddenly they're really into it. They totally take off. So you can't always tell, who these people are going to be. There's always a big hitter who has changed her sponsor or his sponsor's life. Like the guy I was telling you from Nu Skin, he sponsored a woman from, I think it was Taiwan, and she totally changed his life. 95% of his giant income was hundreds of thousands per month, I believe. with almost 1 million people in the downline, all came from this one person. That doesn't mean he didn't sponsor 300 people personally. He probably did, maybe more, but one of those. Okay, so you're not looking for that many people. Remember, one person can change your entire business. And that's why it's important to get the word out so that you can do that. And that is secret number 3. You're really only one person away, okay? And what I want you to realize is that you can be a warm market boss if you have language that is free of the internal conflict. Like, are you sharing or selling? You're trying to get them to do something? You're trying to get them to give you money? Are you trying to get, sell your friends and have them work under you and for you? Which these words to many people are anathema. They don't want to hear it because that's not how they feel about their friends. So the 3 secrets, I think, that have stood mostly in the way of people. Number 1, there's the agenda conflict. Number 2, they don't know the words to say. What do I say? I can't sell. I don't know what. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too little. No matter what I say, they walk the other way. So here, I'm going to give you a way to ethically steal the word models that I have used just this year to bring in 157 people. And the third one is that you're only one person away. So it sounds like a big deal when you think of thousands, but it's really not, okay? So let me tell you what I have for you. If you are ready to become a warm market boss, this is really I'm just so happy to be able to give this to you because I've really never had a chance to put this together before. Here's what I have for you, and I'm going to surprise you a lot. You watch. I have created a warm market boss video with the exact word models that you can say to introduce what you're doing to your warm market, anyone, no matter what your company is, and get their enthusiastic help and support. That one video, I think, is 36 minutes, the whole thing, boom, you'll have it. And that's, to me, the value for that is like $500, $497. Next for you is 100 Customers, 100 Days audio program. So, many of you have heard of that, and it's the number 1 seller in the industry for customers, because nobody focuses on customers, and I focused on them for the last, since 2004. So I guess 10, 12 years, something like that. So you get that. And then I'm going to put in the Art of Recruiting audio program. That is my best-selling recruiting program. And I use the language in here, by the way, both cold market and warm market, to build my first 5 companies to the top. And I was at the top of everything that I ever did in terms of rank, and in many cases in the top 5 or 10 earners in the company. Okay, so I have that. And so what I'm going to give you, like I said, I'm going to surprise you, so just hang on to your hat here. All this stuff together, I think, is probably worth about $800 or $900. $891 here. And here's what I'm going to do, because I'm so excited to give this. I'm going to give you all this stuff for $67, period. That's it. And the reason I'm doing this is because I believe that one of the biggest reasons that if you're having a hard time doing this and you've stopped talking to people and you've given up on yourself and you think, it's got to be me. It's got to be me, and they can all do this, but I can't. I'm here to tell you that it is not you. It is not. It's not your belief. It's not that you can't. It's not that you don't duplicate. It's that you haven't been able to get past that inner conflict, which I would say is the reason 95% of the people in our industry quit. The director of the DSA, the Direct Selling Association, Neil Offenbach, I think is his name, he was the director. He said, we have a 108% dropout rate, or 118%. It's like, well, how can you have more people dropping out, right? And he said, because so many people sign up for more than one company, and then they drop out of 3 or 4 of them. So the dropout ratio is actually more than the number of people, because so many people drop out of so many. And I'm here to tell you that it's very possible that it has nothing to do with you not believing, not doing the thing, being lazy, being inactive, all the things that you might feel accused of, or you might accuse yourself of, is that you don't know these words. And the conflict between, are you sharing and are you selling and are you getting somebody and are you bringing them in and bringing them to the meeting, is too great for many people to deal with. So what happens? They don't do anything. And I'm here to tell you, I have a way for you to do this where there will be no stress, none whatsoever. Not only that, they'll offer to help you find who you want. Okay, so that's what I have to offer you. Now, there is a small catch. You can't trust these girls, I'm telling you. Here's my small catch. You have to get this program within 24 hours. It's all of $67, so it's not like a big deal. But I really like fast movers. So the video showing you how to do this is $67, but I decided to add these other things, the art of recruiting and the 100 customers in 100 days, just because I want to encourage you, get the video program, get the Warm Market Boss program so that you can start 5 minutes later using your new lines on whoever it is, including people you've called before that are mad at you. That's one of the best parts. And I'll give you a little, once you get into the program, I'll give you some little language that we've given hundreds of people where, you want to call the people first at least they'll pick up the phone, right? And then you're going to have your totally different language, like nothing you've ever heard. I guarantee it. Unless you've been in my personal classes in the last 6 months, you haven't heard this, okay? So that's what I want you to do is if you want this, you get all this stuff, that's the catch. You got to buy it here today for a grand total of $67. So we've got a little timer here. It's been kind of fun to try to see if we can do this. The timer works per person. So if you're on this thing right now, you'll see like you got to scrape up $67 if you want to do this, because then the 2 programs are going to come with it, the freebies, okay, in addition to the Warm Market. And for the first 10 people who order today, you're going to get one of my very favorite programs, the first thing I ever did, called the Recruiting Confidence Builder Collection. And that includes my first audio, which is So You Want to Be a Networker. And that includes the ACEs, the story of the ACEs, which was the first time that had ever been done, where you're looking for the ACEs instead of looking for all the other cards on the deck. We used to do that live with hundreds of decks of cards with all these folks. How to be an awesome sponsor, how to build a giant heap with or without your friends, family, or neighbors. And then how to build, what's a new MLM anyway, right? And then survival skills for the advanced heap builder. Because there are some things you want to say to higher level people that you don't want to say to someone with no experience. Again, so the first 10 people who order that on each day that we're running this promotion will get that particular thing as well, okay? So what you're getting here is the Warm Market Boss video with the exact words you can use to never again offend a friend and get them to help you, guaranteed. The 100 Customers, 100 Days audio program and the Art of Recruiting program, you can see the values there, $497, $197, $197, which altogether is like $891. And you can get the whole thing right now for $67. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And what I would really like is for those of you who take advantage of this, it's an introductory offer. We're just testing this to see whether this is something that you want to do. And if you do, and you start using this, I want you to promise that you'll email me results, because I expect this is going to blow out quite big, and we'll probably have a Facebook group just for the Warm Market Boss people. Just because once you can be a boss in your mind when you're talking to someone and they rally around and want to help you as if you're starting a movement, this is a very different feeling than begging, isn't it? Or just, oh, please, won't you do me a favor? Oh, or that other approach, which is go for no. Hey, listen, if you want to go for no, bless your heart. I have no interest in that at all. I heard no once or twice when I was like really young, and I swore I'm never going to hear it again. And if it does, it's not going to matter. So I have arranged my business life so that I almost never hear no, including when I made hundreds and hundreds of lead calls per day. There's a way not to ever have to hear it, you see. But there's a much better way to get people to help you so you can start your movement to help you get other people on your product or program to help change their life the way I presume that your life has been changed. Whether it's the product that you're doing, the service that you've got, or the program, the actual income-producing opportunity that you're marketing. All right? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I hope to see you. And I really, really want to hear what your reaction is when you start you steal my word models for introducing people to what you've got. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks very much. This is Kim Klaver. By the way, your order button is below. I should say this. Underneath this little video, there's a little button, I think, that says something like order, and your clock is running. So we're going to see how that whole thing works. And just click on it below, and it's $67 for everything. The whole kit and caboodle. All right? I'll talk to you soon. This is Kim Klaver, and I hope you're ready with me to become a warm market boss. I can tell you that I'm one. And every person that becomes a warm market, if I want them to help me do something, I know how to do it on the spot without any preparation. And I just want to share that literally with you, and I do that in this video. And of course, the other programs are to help you get some texture, so you get some breadth in the idea of what is sales and marketing and how do you do it so that people say, I want that. Here's my credit card. Can you sign me up? Isn't that what you want? It's what I want. All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you.